Alright guys, listen up. I've been in this game long enough to know that not everything is as it seems. Today, we're going to talk about something that might ruffle some feathers, but it needs to be said. Firearms qualifications. Yeah, you heard me right. Now, qualifications matter, but they're not important. Stick with me and I'll break it down for you. You see, qualifications are necessary for agencies. They're there to show that an officer has a minimum level of proficiency with a firearm. It's all about legal and liability reasons, nothing more. But here's where it gets tricky. Some instructors and administrators make these qualifications a big deal. They act like it's the be-all and end-all of an officer's ability to carry a firearm and work in enforcement. But let me tell you something. That's not the whole story, not by a long shot. Let's get one thing straight. A qualification course of fire is not firearms training. I repeat, it is not training. During qualifications, instructors can't coach shooters. It's like, giving out answers during a written test. It defeats the whole purpose. These qualifications aren't designed to improve a shooter's skill. They're not even a real test of capability because they focus on minimum standards, not maximum performance. Now, I've heard some instructors propose improvements to qualifications. They want to add stages that replicate real-world activities like shooting on the move or from cover. But here's the problem with that logic. How can you test a skill if you haven't had time to train it? It's backwards thinking, guys. We need to recognize qualifications for what they are, a required minimum standards test for legal and liability purposes. Alright, let's talk about what really matters. Training. If you're an instructor listening to this, I want you to pay close attention. Your job isn't just to administer qualifications. Your job is to fight for more training time. More training time, coupled with quality training, equals reduced liability. It's that simple. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but we don't have enough time for training. Well, guess what? That's a battle you need to have with your administration. We have instructors on each shift, so that shouldn't be a problem. You need to make them understand why this is crucial. Because here's the truth. Firearms qualifications are a necessary evil. They should get very little attention and occupy very little of our range time. Instead, we need to focus on improving police firearms training. Let me give you some ideas. First up, video review and breakdown. With technology these days, there's no excuse not to use this. Record range drills and let students conduct self-assessments. Now let's talk about how we can really shake things up. We need to change our approach to firearms qualification and documentation. The standard is shifting from a numerical score to a pass-fail system, with a requirement of 100% hits at distances that actually reflect real-world encounters. This isn't just me talking. Federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies across the US are making this transition. Why? Because it's more defensible. Think about it. If an officer only qualifies by 70%, missing 3 to 5 rounds, aren't we basically saying it's okay for them to have stray rounds in a real situation? That's not going to fly, guys. We need to implement a close proximity qualification standard, 12 yards and in, with a zero-tolerance miss policy. 100% hits or it's a fail. Sounds tough, but every officer should be capable of this. And let's talk targets. We need threat identifiers on our targets. Without the aspect of threat recognition, how can we train officers to make split-second decisions about using deadly force? This isn't just about shooting. It's about knowing when to shoot. Alright guys, let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground today, but here's the bottom line. Firearms qualifications matter for legal reasons, but they're not important when it comes to real-world performance. What's important is comprehensive, realistic training that prepares officers for actual gunfights. We need to fight for more training time, implement pass-fail standards with 100% hit requirements, and focus on skills that translate to real-world scenarios. Remember, every round fired is our responsibility, and we owe it to ourselves, our fellow officers, and the public to be as prepared as possible. This isn't about passing a test, it's about saving lives. So train hard, train realistically, and never stop improving. Your life, and the lives of others, may depend on it. Stay safe out there, and remember, when it comes to firearms, safety always comes first. If you want to learn more about effective firearms training, Give us a call or shoot us a text at 301-346-2327. This is Master Instructor, signing off.